I'm back in this motherfucker. Nah, anyway. Let y'all come in here, creep in here. I ain't even about to share the video. I'm just gonna let y'all find out, see who the notifications get. Actually about to get gas. Storming like a motherfucker out here. So anyway, y'all see, y'all know it's real when I title the video. So get up in here, see who's gonna be the first to drive through. While I make my way back to the house. Like you see in the title, couple of topics. Topic, not in any particular order. The paternity fraud with BGS video. Respond to that live stream. Appreciate him. I was one of the people that heavily requested him do that live stream. So make sure y'all like that video. Make sure you all like that video. Actually, I can go this way. Make sure y'all like that video. The recent video he did, I'll share it eventually. I'm obviously the Diddy verdict, and I'm gonna briefly talk about the Halley Bailey situation. I need to get back into doing more uploads. Also, I know I don't put any content on the Patreon, so I apologize about to all y'all for that. I appreciate you all's donations and stuff, but I know y'all expect to see some stuff over there. That's why I don't make it a requirement to donate. So I just want to acknowledge that. Ain't nobody say nothing, but I just want to acknowledge that. Also, hopefully Wingate gets better. You know why you are. And yeah, we're gonna chop it up. So I'm gonna be live for about an hour, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. Also, the reason why I got banned was it was stupid. But it's also was stupid on my end. The reason why I got hate speech strike was because I put nigga WTF on the video with MTR and Corey Holcomb, because I was like, yo, wow, what? That's what, and they gave me a hate speech strike for that. It was a post. It wasn't even like anything I said. That's why the videos are still there. Shout out Excalibur for that $5. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And so we can jump right in. Enough of y'all in here. So let's talk. Let's get the first thing out of the way. Probably the one I'm gonna talk the we'll do the least to most. So let's talk DDG and Halley Bailey. So Halley Bailey is got a boyfriend, as we all knew. And by the way, like, I just gotta say, any dude, like, real talk, how you dealt with the last one is generally how you gonna deal with the next one. So I'm not about to make any declarations, but just understand, dudes be peeping how you act. When it comes to Halley Bailey, like, one thing she don't understand is it's very clear she's gang goofy as hell. Like, it's just obvious that's the case. And it is what it is, but I just wanted to put that out there. How you treat the last person, dudes peep that. Especially a dude that kind of, got money, got this, got that. It's not like an obvious thing. Dudes peep that. They really do. And if another dude were to have a kid with you, just understand that most likely, unless if you get a nigga that's about anything, that's anywhere, if you're able to get a dude, they're gonna just be a deadbeat. That's number one. They're not gonna play that game with you. Like, the game that she's running with DDG, she's only gonna be able to really run one time. That's number one. Number two, it's very obvious that she wants to make shut down his ability to say anything. Anything like it's very obvious she's doing parental alienation. What she's doing is straight up parental alienation. She wants control of the child because in her mind, because DDG wasn't submitting to her will, and that's what it is, she believes it's her child. It is never your child. I don't give a fuck that you all chose to carry that motherfucker in your womb. It is both of y'all's child. And the courts really need to start hammering that and letting these women know it is not your child. It is not your child. Once the child, yo, like, you should have aborted the motherfucker if you was gonna play that game. Like, for real. And once the court stopped aiding and abetting in parental alienation, because that's all that's happening here, you know, she won't be able to do that. The fact that she got a nigga with her in Italy, I don't care if it's for a day. The fact that she got a nigga with her in Italy, but DDG can't have his kid, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about what the fuck is going on. That's really all it is. Like, straight up. That's all it's parental alienation. And we're going to get into the paternity fraud stuff, but the reason why the paternity fraud thing, the topic is so potent to have, is because it proves to you that these women are not moral. They are given so much benefit of the doubt based on the fact that they are morally superior to men. This is the greatest lie that is ever told. In fact, I would argue men have a much more sense of honor and fairness than women do. Women do not have that. They don't. Not as a group. Fuck the some but not all disclaimer. Because if it was really just some but not all, y'all would call that shit out. Y'all don't call that shit out. So I don't want to hear the not all. Most of y'all are like this. I would argue 70% of y'all. It's just a matter of to what degree. Yeah, they're not that. They're not like Halley is like 24. Yeah, I thought Sabrina Carpenter was younger too. She's like 25, 26. So these chicks are not that. These are not like brand new out the box. No. No. So a lot of folks be out here really on some, be a baby. No, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but the thing about it is, it's very clear that she's weaponizing the courts against DDG. And my thing, and I said this to other people, DDG is in a unique advantage because the thing about it is he's imprinted on it and his son enough the way she's not gonna be able to pull that shit, because what she's trying to do is she's trying to imprint him away from it. It's very evil what she's doing. It's very fucking evil what she's doing. If you really know what she, like, understand what she's doing, she's essentially trying to really psychologically manipulate her son at a very early age. And I'm gonna be real, DDG should sue her for parental alienation, because it's not at this point. You gotta put the courts on notice that if they ain't, because this bullshit. Because see, what they're doing right now is they're doing the, well, let's just let her have the kid until we get everything straightened out. Okay, notice how they don't even talk about, everybody knew that abuse shit was bullshit. You notice how they don't even talk about abuse like that no more? Notice how you don't see even women on TikTok or social media really pushing that narrative, because that was a bullshit ass narrative from the jump. So you don't really see people really hammering that down, even women. Especially after them text messages went off. They had their little, like, bluster, and then for the most part, people have chilled out. People have chilled the fuck out, because that was bullshit. That was bullshit. And because he got a female audience, like he's got a significant female audience, you can't run those same plays. Hold on one second. Yeah. And he needs to put them on notice. He really does. And let them know, look, and really what people need to start doing is suing the is suing the courts. It's suing the state. Because he got the money to do it. Honestly, DDG could set some precedents. He got the money and the time. But yeah, so at the end of the day, man, it's very obvious what she's doing. And it don't matter how mad you are. Like really, this would be some good views for the Black Female Accountability Department to be on her ass. Because the reality is, there's a lot of women that do support DDG. And DDG, for the most part, has dated black girls. Only black girls. Whether they black, whether they mixed, whether they whatever. But see, again, there's no credit for that shit. There's no credit for that shit. That don't count for shit. So at the end of the day, that's something that's going to be followed. You know, a lot of, like, the thing about it is, over time, this is going to damage her reputation because DDG isn't going away. And and what she thought was, if you shut down his ability to speak on it, then you're essentially shutting down everybody's ability to speak on it. No, and all you did was put yourself on the radar, because you can't make academics not speak on it. You can't make everybody not speak on it. So and if you, every time you with a man, every little fucking thing you do is going to be clocked now by different people. And you can't play that victim card no more. That was like, the public trust was the biggest advantage that she had. That was the biggest advantage that she had. And there's going to be a central theme that we're going to go along with this here. You know, so that's, I might do a video on that. Jada Black did a video on it, but I have my thoughts. Shout out to him. Check that out if you want to know. But she's doing damage. She's really doing damage to their brand when they don't really even have a lot of rope to deal with. And over time, he can weigh her out, because over time she's gonna have to come off of this, because you're either have to definitively prove that he beat you up, and now it's like you gotta prove it, because if he proves that never happened, then you come off as malicious as hell. Nobody made you have that kid. All this bullshit about, yeah, man, even Joe Budden had to come off that shit. Talk about DDG was lynched. No, all of that is bullshit. Because people didn't know who the fuck this nigga was. This nigga was getting money. Before, he didn't need her for all that. So people have had to come off of that shit. And so now the burden of proof is gonna be on her. And she's gonna be like, oh, I postpartum. No, you're not gonna be able to pull that. You ain't postpartum with a new nigga. That kid ain't that young. So all that mental illness bullshit, ain't nobody gonna want to hear that. Because again, a lot of women don't be wanting to hear that. And all these chicks, like, you got the Megan Thee Stallion stands, they defend her no matter what, because they're defending that black bitch behavior. Eventually, black women are gonna have to disavow some of that shit. All of that, you believe all black women bullshit, all of y'all gonna sync with that shit. So anyway, that's what I want to talk. I'll do more video about that, but I want to get that out the way. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the Diddy shit, because I know a lot of y'all kind of want my opinion on it. Here's my thing, man. At the end of the day, I'm not hoping, Diddy's an asshole. Diddy's an asshole. Diddy definitely abuses his power. I don't come off of that. But here's my thing. Do I believe that Diddy was running a sex trafficking ring? You all know when this case was, anytime I spoke on this case, you already know that I said that that I don't think Diddy ran a sex trafficking ring. I thought that was bullshit, and I am glad, because that is a precedent that they would have set to make it easier and easier to put that shit on people. So I'm absolutely happy the outcome that happened. Do I think that he had a RICO? Hell no. And shout out to Ticket TV, but I disagree with Ticket TV, because Ticket TV was like dead set. It did this and this. And I'm like, nigga, no. And it was funny because he was getting, I didn't get in the chat because I didn't care about it that much. Because it's kind of like, I don't really, if Diddy would have got convicted, that just would have been on him. But you all remember what the fuck I said. What did I say? I said that Cassie got her money and that bitch ain't no victim. That's what I said. All these females talk about she was groomed like a puppy. Shut the fuck up. Because then we need to drag Ryan Leslie up in here too. Because he was 31. I think Diddy was like 36 or like 37. So I've been said that. Cassie ain't no fucking victim. Yo, she was groomed like a puppy. Shut the fuck up. If you believe that, then you believe that. If you really believe that, then what you're essentially telling me that women, their IQs, what you're telling me is women should be minors up until 25 years old, which means y'all shouldn't have no legal rights for real. Y'all shouldn't, because children don't have the same rights as an adult. Children, and by the way, my aunt is a ward of the state. My mother was my aunt's legal guardian, which means even though my aunt was older than my mom, my aunt is born 1958. My aunt was older than my mom by 3 years. My mom signed her paperwork. Nothing happened unless my mom said, because that's what guardianship is. So this bullshit that y'all like to say about y'all can't consent, which is low-key what you saying, cool, let's change the rules then. If you under 25, you can't vote. You're not an adult, so that legal adult. So that means that you need a guardian over you, whether it's another bitch, because they'll abuse that shit too. Your mama. Let's change the rules then. Let's take it all away. Fuck that. Why can't men vote? The same reason why men could get that ass drafted. The same reason. Y'all can't drink till you 25. You can't smoke till you like 22. Fuck it. What's up, baby? Fuck it. That's how I'm weighing it. No, you do not get to reverse consent after the fact. Just like y'all hoes be low-key, we'll talk about post-birth abortions, which is murder. I'll never forget when I heard Nyla Speak say that shit. Post-birth abortions. It's like, bitch, do you know what's coming out of your mouth? Post-birth abortions. Killing a child. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. It ain't a lot of daylight in a woman's mind. In my opinion, this is my opinion. It's not that much daylight between after the kid is born and aborting it in the psyche of a female. I don't really believe it is. I don't believe it is. It really isn't. It's just they know they will get in trouble. That's the only real difference. But my thing is, you know, and that's the biggest, so that's like, that was setting like this precedent, because that's why you think Cassie was the star witness? So I'm absolutely happy. Cassie chose to stay with Diddy and do all of that shit. She chose to stay in that relationship. She only started getting mad when Diddy replaced her with fucking, what's that bitch name? Young Miami. That's when she got mad and wanted to write a book. I'ma get mine, which I'm not mad at her for getting her money. I'm not. Cause Diddy, I know Diddy dangled a career over her head. That's still on her, but I'm not mad for her going for it. But this thing, Diddy got convicted basically of tricking across state lines. And yeah, he did that shit. But all this other shit, no, this is a victory for motherfuckers thinking they gonna hem somebody up because they mad. This is a victory for that. And this is a victory for black men, because real talk, I'm tired of them making us like the face of everybody going to jail. Well, I mean, they're not gonna give them a mayor. That's not gonna happen in this country. Make sure y'all hit that Cash App up. But yeah, man, like for real. So all these women and their feelings, they're trying to translate how they feel, and they need to guard against that. But not believe in fairness. Women do not believe in fairness and equality. They don't believe that. If it doesn't benefit them, they don't want it. Equality is they bitch ass getting drafted. Even if you in more logistics, they don't want to do that. Even if your ass is drafted to work in these factories, to manufacture or hospitals, it ain't got to be the front lines. It ain't even got to be logistics. They don't want that. They don't, but that's the biggest lie feminism ever told. They don't believe in equality. They don't believe in equality. They don't believe in meritocracy. They don't believe in merit. They believe in supremacy. And men have to understand that. I can argue that's what they've always believed, but they definitely have believed that in the last 15, 20 years. And a lot of men see something fundamentally moral about feminism. Feminism is evil. Just because let me tell you something. Somebody that likes Hitler or somebody that likes Nazi Germany, they can point out to all of the programs that Nazi Germany did, like the Autobahn, like a lot of stuff that they did in order, like they can point out individual things that was done. That, okay, if you take this thing in a vacuum and only this thing, like creating the Autobahn, public works projects that still exist till this day in Germany. Yeah, if you take this one little thing in a vacuum, for anybody that's about to say, oh my God, he's talking about Hitler, he's talking about Nazis, oh, he must be evil. Did America not get Wernher von Braun? Is NASA not built around Wernher von Braun, the Nazi rocket scientist? Us going to the moon? We snatched a lot of German assets. Them white folks allowed them to change their name and do all of that. If they were of strategic value. Hell, even the Japanese did a lot of medical research via torture and inhumane. They still took them documents to use that. I'm not. The adults are talking now. And so my point in saying this is, yeah, you can point to one or two things feminism did that's okay individually, but that doesn't mean feminism is not evil. And I use that word very specifically. Feminism is evil. And it is damn near broke our society. Spies and people that hate America could never hope to their God that you would come up with a better concept than feminism to undermine and destroy the United States. These bitches are not having children. When they have it, they are having children and create monsters, whether they're black, white, or otherwise. They are not accountable. The reality of the situation is that if you, like you even got bitches like Tommy Lauren, this sitting here, she don't even understand she's a feminist in the rhetoric that she's talking. One thing that dude said, it was a dude I was listening to, I gotta get the clip. He said that when you are a feminist, you fundamentally believe that anything that men do, you believe that anything that men do that you don't like, you can socialize it out of them. Anything that males do, everything, you believe in nurture over nature, and you believe you can nurture anything that's undesirable out of men. That is evil. If men were to say, imagine, and if you don't believe me, imagine if men were talking about, we need to create women that are perfect, that are 100% obedient, that do what we say, that put up with whatever we do. Basically a mental slave. And we start enacting policies that go against a female's nature or takes advantage of their nature in order to make that happen. We're talking like Sharia law times 4. You would say that's evil, and anybody that adheres to that type of doctrine, anything near that, is evil. You would say that. A woman would say that. That is what feminists, if you believe in feminism, you essentially believe in that. You believe that there is no tactic. You believe in actually manipulating children to the point where they're gender confused. Children to the point where they believe they can chop their dick off to become a woman. And you actively encourage that behavior in the schools. People can say that there's degrees to it, there are. But ultimately, that is what you're supporting. You believe in nurturing men and terraforming men out of their nature into what you think to be. And you got the nerve. Do you understand how arrogant you have to be to believe that? They are breaking the system. You saw that with Candace Owens' interview with feminists. Countries have exterminated whole countries over far less shit. Like, countries have gone to war and put down whole villages for far less shit than how far we've gotten. And people will say, oh, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being hyperbolic because I'm being loud. I'm not being hyperbolic. Like, there's a reason why you get them Brothers Grimm stories that talk about the evil, wickedy witch. There's a reason why witches are seen the way they're seen. Because this is the type of shit they do. Witches were the original feminists. Before feminists and suffrage was a concept, witchcraft was that shit. And actually, like, there's an interview that Jordan Peterson did with Kelly, you know, that Kelly bitch, Megyn Kelly. And he broke this down using, like, in a very way. It's actually very masterful how he broke this down. And I'm gonna keep it real. People, oh, you hate women. No, I ain't about hating women. I'm gonna tell you what the real problem is. The corporations. The corporations basically set this up this way to try to terraform men into a more controllable state. And as men, they allowed black men were in a slightly different situation, but corporations did this to basically split their women from the men in order to turn them into corporate consumer spending monsters. Consumer spending monsters that basically think they're working for their overlord. Like, it's funny. What's the difference between, they say they don't want to submit to a man, but you submit to a corporation? What is the difference between a man and a corporation? A corporation is just a man by a man that you can't see. Who you think are CEOs of most of these corporations? Who you think are the majority investors of most of these corporations? You traded a man that basically would die for you for a nameless, faceless corporation that you can't really negotiate with or argue with like that. It basically gives you money to waste it on trinkets and shit that don't matter. Like, you still, it's like, even women will tell you working for women is horrible. You still working for a man. These motherfuckers really act like you not still working for a man. Dummy. So going back to the Diddy thing, ultimately, yeah. Because, these people, you basically dragged him in court. This man, this powerful man, that you dragged him in court, basically revving his house, all this bullshit you did for a not guilty verdict. You can't try him again. And if you come up with some other bullshit ass charges, then it's gonna be obvious. It's gonna be like, why didn't you add this to the original charges? This is exactly what the fuck I was talking about with Andrew Tate. Oh, he's a sex trafficker. He's a sex trafficker. I'm like, he hasn't been convicted of shit. And not only has he not been convicted of shit, they keep dragging him in court because they can't get him. That's why I'm not upset. That's why I want all these prosecutors. I don't care if they black. I want a lot of these prosecutors to be. Look, man. Pam Bondi may be a problem tomorrow, but today. And here's the thing. Now, if Trump were to kind of pardon him, they can't really say nothing. So, because I heard that they still got Diddy in jail, but he'll get out because they got the tapes already. Oh man, they might take him out. Well, if they take him out, then it's gonna be too obvious because then it's gonna be, well, why did you do it after he got acquitted? That doesn't make sense. Shout out to Nate for the $5 as well. Here come naysayer Brock. Every time Brock, everything I say, if I go left, Brock's gotta go right. If I go right, Brock's gotta go left. Nigga, he already did escape the hotel video. They chose not to put the prosecution chose not to put the video in the evidence. The judge said that they could put that video in the evidence. They said, Your Honor, we got more than enough evidence. We don't need to put that damn video. What do you mean he's not escaping the hotel video? Once again, you're wrong. You know how I know you're wrong? Because you already got fake ass celebrities this saying they're coming out for Diddy now. They're saying they're happy he got out because the sex charges are the charges. At the end of the day, Diddy apologized for that. Diddy apologized for that. And truth be told, again, Cassie got 38 million out of Diddy. So, oh, he's a beater. He's a like that. All of that should have been in that trial. So what are we talking about? Oh, now we're gonna put him up on abuse charges and blah 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 blah. We're gonna put him up on abuse charges and we're gonna convict him. Nah, they threw everything that they were gonna throw at him. They threw at him already. So now it's gonna look. It's the same thing with Trump. The more you keep charging people, it's like okay, there's not infinite. There's not an infinite amount of court hours where you can just break the game and just keep charging people without it being obvious that you're trying to attack somebody. So no, you're incorrect. No, he is escaping that video. Cassie sued him. Cassie got her money. Remember, that's a part of the RICO case. That essentially he was running a racket, an enterprise, and the center of the case was around the fact that she didn't have agency. They chose not to put that video in there, and he got acquitted from that. His peers, by the way, it had to be unanimous. That's why they went back. And by the way, they had like I don't know what charges, but they said it was only 2 charges that they didn't agree on. So they agreed pretty early on most of the charges. So no, that's not correct. Try again. Like I said, y'all need to stop being naysayers just to be fucking naysayers. I swear to God, a lot of y'all just like to say I'm wrong. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with y'all. I got pretty much a 90% batting record. I don't understand why y'all like to say, y'all like to default to I'm wrong. I don't know where y'all get that shit from. I don't know where y'all get that shit from. Every time I say some shit, y'all say the fucking opposite. I don't know why y'all do that. For the life of me, I do not know why the fuck y'all do that. Because y'all, I am not somebody to bet. Because truth be told, I don't talk about things I'm not pretty confident in. I don't do that flying off the handle shit. Do you know what the definition? Do you know what the definition? See, I want y'all to point this out. This is where men start acting like women. Nigga, prostitution is not violence. Prostitution is not, I'm not saying he didn't do it. Prostitution is not violence. And prostitution does not carry the sex trafficking RICO charges. We're going to put him in jail. Nigga, you really believe, how long you think he about to be in jail for buying pussy? Everybody does that. As far as celebrities. So if you can put him in jail for that, then you can pretty much go after anybody. And as far as admitting the violence, it doesn't matter. That's not what he was charged on. And they're not about to then all of a sudden charge him on that. So now Cassie got to go in there. And now they're going to do the video. Because it's going to be, why didn't you just put that in there? See, when you do RICO cases, you're encapsulating all of that into it. That's the problem with RICO. That's the drawback of RICO. So now, if you then say, okay, we're going back to court so we can just stack more charges. Truth be told, that type of abuse shit, those are not federal charges. That's something that Cassie has to press on him. And Cassie has chosen not to press charges. Why? Because Cassie wanted to sue him. And Cassie got her money. They already got the tapes. So I don't think y'all understand how America works. You can't just drag people. That's why they like law. They love lawsuits. Because you can't, the feds don't typically sue individuals. because that's the waste of their kind of time hours. You can't just say we're just gonna run this person through infinite charges. It's one thing if you're already an established criminal like John Gotti or something, but you can't be like, we about to run you through infinite charges. Like, you can't, because if you do that, you're setting a precedent that you can do that to white people. That's why a lot of people had to chill out on Donald Trump, because that was unprecedented. Because if they do that to him, oh, well, he is a felon. Every president that has ever served, maybe minus Jimmy Carter, could be put up on charges like they put up on Trump, and that includes Obama. They could have ran Obama on those Fast and Furious debacle. They could have ran Obama and Hillary on Benghazi. Hillary and Bill have done infinitely more dirt than Trump has ever done as far as in the presidency, and everybody knows it. But the problem is, when you are a head of state, you represent something beyond what the law is. And that's the thing, so it gets tricky. But with Diddy, the biggest thing they wanted was those tapes. You cannot get 10 years for fucking prostitution. That's not how that works. I mean, Brock, I swear to God, I'm not sure if that dude's if he's a dude. I really am not. Because the thing about it is, I can explain shit, and Brock is one of these guys that he will waste your time because he feels a certain type of way. You said, like, for instance, if I say something and I put it out there, whether people agree or not, I may clarify and explain it. But ultimately, I'm just putting that out there, and that's out in the universe. The problem is what Brock does, and I don't know, he said he was like mixed, and I don't know if this is like a mixed thing. I really don't. But it's this, I gotta be right. I gotta keep hammering and hammering and hammering and hammering and hammering. No matter how much logic, no matter how much explanation, that's what women, and I'm not trying to call you a woman, but that is what women do. Because how you feel is overriding the logic. You know good and goddamn well, you don't need to be a legal expert to know sex trafficking. Because if prostitution was that bad, why add sex trafficking to it? Prostitution is a minor offense. The only reason why prostitution is even a federal offense is because it's across state lines. And honestly, the only reason they get that is because you flying people out. For somebody like Diddy, you could put that on anybody. Hold on. Let me ask ChatGPT, because this nigga want to be stupid. What he's trying to refer to is he's trying to refer to the fact that you can get, quote unquote, up to 10 years for transporting people across state lines for prostituting. The problem is, if that's not what they were going for, because that's why they have a more upgraded charges of sex trafficking and RICO. So at the end of the day, they are not about to give Diddy no 4, 5, 6 years, especially being 55 years old, for that shit with his kind of power and his kind of money. It's highly probable they will find the shit out of him, but with his lawyers, there is no way. Those prostitution charges were basically designed to get a win if they didn't get the big stuff, so it doesn't look like they just completely wasted the court's time and building this case. That's what that is. So we'll see what happens in the sentencing, but I highly doubt. First of all, Diddy has already been in jail for a year. So if they give him a year, they can give him a year and say time served. They can give him 2 years and then he's in there for another year. And truth be told, honestly, I'm not saying Trump is going to pardon Diddy, but it's now a lot more politically feasible to pardon Diddy than it was before, because Trump has had these prostitution charges put on him, and he knows how bullshit they are, number one. And number two, these are bullshit ass charges for somebody of Diddy's caliber. So basically you can make an argument that because he paid Young Miami that money, that's prostitution. That's bullshit. All of them dudes at that level engage in that in some way. So it's bullshit. So yeah, is it possible that they'll give him 10 years just to do that? Sure. That anything's possible, but the reality is Diddy will get off on that on appeal. And Diddy ain't fucking what's his name? Not, Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm talking about. He ain't him. He ain't about to sit in jail any longer than he fucking has to. Even though they denied him bail to get out, which is bullshit. So it's pretty much, I'm telling you now, it's pretty much over. Because now, like, saying that he's buying sex, and they're consenting to it. So if that's what you're convicting him on, he's a rapist or an R word, he's a trafficker. That's bullshit. And that was always bullshit. Number one, where they really effed up is they effed up trying to talk about he was trafficking male escorts. That's really where they effed up. Nobody's gonna give a shit about that. So that's as far as I'm gonna say with that. I'll come back to that later. As far as the paternity thing, well, I mean, you just need to see his video. Brock, like, you really close to getting blocked, to be honest with you, because at this point you trolling. Nigga, he wasn't convicted of any of that. That's not prostitution. All of that is not under prostitution. If you're drugging somebody, that means that's R. That is abuse. So those things are not under prostitution. So you keep adding shit in there. And that's the problem. Like honestly, this is men acting this way is unacceptable. Because this is what I want y'all to really understand, and motherfuckers like Brock are a big reason why men can't work together. Dudes like Brock are dudes you have to identify and remove from a group. Because he's one of those dudes that he's gonna slow shit down because he just feels some type of way that he just can't explain and can't rebel with. He gotta be right even when he dead ass wrong, and that's a problem. You will never win. It always only takes one dude like that to completely fuck up a whole fire team situation. Like, real fucking talk. It really ain't that fucking serious. But again, I'm right. Even the niggas not guilty on all the RICO. Those are the drugging shit. The drugging shit is under sex trafficking. It's not under prostitution. But once again, niggas gotta be right. And that's why I love stuff like this, because it exposes a lot of the quote unquote people that logic doesn't rule them. It's really how they feel. So when shit don't, it's just like with the Tory Lanez situation. Tory Lanez was who I was talking about. With Tory Lanez, he guilty because niggas feel like he's guilty. Even though a nigga ain't got no paint gun. It's fucking sheep. Fucking sheep. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with sheep. It's just like with the paternity fraud stuff. You heard that on BGS's the video that BGS covered. These chicks are dead ass wrong, but somehow they still, oh well, you fucked me, so you know what the possibility is. So that means I'm supposed to take care of a kid that ain't mine. You do know in the animal kingdom, they kill kids that are not theirs. But I'm supposed to take care of a kid that ain't mine because you feel some type of way. It ain't even about, I'm not even trying to call him no female. I'm just trying to say straight up. It's like, dude, at the end of the day, you just saying the same shit over and over and over again. We get it. We'll see what happens in the sentencing. We'll see. But the biggest, and I'm not, oh man, I'm so happy Diddy got off. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not mad. And at the end of the day, hold on. I'm tired, it is what it is. I said it From up front, the them RICO charges was bullshit. I knew that shit was bullshit. I mean, as far as that, like honestly, I need a whole. That shit was crazy. I'll say this. I'll say this on a paternity thing. The thing about the paternity thing that makes that so devastating is it, like I said before, it eliminates this, it completely removes trust. It eliminates this narrative that women are fundamentally moral and they don't know how to argue this. It pretty much cuts into the matter of what we're talking about. There is something fundamentally wrong with women in this society today. And the fact that you can't even get them to agree, the fact that they're bold, they don't even understand that they need to lie on that. No, the fact of the matter is and they don't understand that. They don't understand that they need to lie and say, yeah, all men should get DNA tests and they should know the father. No, they get mad and try to justify it, and that's how you know that a lot of these women either know some chicks has actively done it or that they've done it. And there's enough women that understand that this needs to happen. That if we get the dudes on the same page, you can get this stuff done. Paternity testing should be done. If this is one of the requirements that men should have, if you want men to come back in the fold, this is like basic. This ain't we ain't even negotiating. This ain't even like something that you can even count that you did. This is something that's going to happen. And I'm gonna keep it real. One of the punishments I think this should happen is a woman can't collect child support from any dude. She's got to pay for that. A woman does not have the ability to claim her kids as dependents. And yeah, you harming the child, like then give up the kid, straight like that. And I'm gonna keep it real. If a woman kills a kid, that should be automatic death penalty. If you harm that child, that's automatic death penalty, straight up. We ain't even. That's automatic. That's automatic. We ain't even wasting time with life in prison. That's automatic. You on death row. Because a lot of these women, they'll start. I don't care about what mental illness you think you on. Because if you want to claim mental illness, then you gonna be shot up with you gonna be in a really bad mental institution, not one that's designed to get you better. Yeah, appreciate it. So my thing is that what this does is it proves to blue pill niggas, because the thing with blue pill niggas is not even trust. Blue pill niggas got faith in these hoes, and it proves what we've been saying is their morality is off, because they know it's wrong. Because they wouldn't get mad if they didn't know. If they actually didn't understand that this is wrong, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't get angry about bringing it up. That's how we know they know right from wrong, and they're actively doing this. There is no feminist reason for a woman to not. There is no feminist reason for a woman to lie to a man about if a kid is his or not. There is none. Feminism cannot protect you from that. And what it does is it creates. This is why the paternity thing is so devastating. What men know basic right from wrong. There's no dude that's going to say just straight up that a man shouldn't know. If you ask, does a man deserve to know if a kid is his or not? There's no man that can make a argument that a man doesn't have the right to know. That there is. I would love to see the argument. I would love to see some beautifully crafted grade A bullshit to see if somebody can actually run game on. I would love to see that. I would love for somebody to try. There's no way for you to make that argument. So it's like a logic plague, like from Halo. And so what happens is dudes. So what dudes do to guard against a logic plague is they go into denial. So what they'll do is deny that it's happening for real. That's the move. Because if you deny it, you don't have to address it. So the key that we got to do is demonstrate this happens at a certain level. That way they can't deny it. And so once they can't deny that it's happening, and they can't deny that it's happening at a low rate, this is where Jamaica comes into play, France comes into play, Nigeria comes into play. And then, obviously, this is where I'm all for child support before a kid is born. I'm all for that. What's an extra year? What's an extra year when the reality is, what's an extra year if you know the kid is yours? I'm willing to trade that but it has to require it has to require paternity. It has to require paternity. That's the trick. It has to require paternity. That's the trade. And that's how you sneak that shit in there. That's how you sneak that shit in there. That is how you sneak that shit in there. They cannot hide from that. They cannot hide from that. It's not even about sneaking it in there, but that's how you justify it to where they can't just get stupid. I would love for FD to try. So it creates a logic plague once they can't deny it that forces them to have to address it in a certain way that they don't want to address it. That's the beautiful part about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, the same energy. Like, at the end, first of all, Shine happened before the Manosphere was even, like, a thing. That's the first thing about Shine. Secondly, I've already told you that Diddy was an asshole. So, Shine is already out of jail. Shine is already deported. Diddy is done wrong by a lot of people. G-Dep, a lot of people. But that ain't got nothing to do with this case. So like you keep jumping to different stuff. Like you keep moving the goalposts. And as far as Tory Lanez, what do you mean you wish Diddy got that same energy as Tory Lanez? Tory Lanez does get that same energy. What are you talking about? Tory Lanez gets the exact same energy. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You wish Tory Lanez get that. Tory Lanez gets a lot. Man, I know it ain't just me, yo. Y'all will have me thinking I'm crazy. But yeah, man, I'm tired of this bullshit. Anyway, I swear he be trolling. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about hypocrisy, man. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, man? But it's all right. Y'all be wilding. Let me see. All right, y'all. I'm out. What's up, Marty? Yeah, Marty got on a panel, so I got to do a play-by-play relatively soon on that. So be looking out for that because that's coming soon. FYI. FYI. All right. So I got that part done. I wanted to do real quick. Yeah, man. But you see, man. That's the thing, man. I don't if stuff needs to be shaken up. I mean, clearly I'll shake it up. You be introducing. I take people at face value. I don't just say shit to shake shit up. Or if I say shit to shake shit up, I'm gonna say, hey, let me throw this out here in order let me throw this out here in order to kind of devil's advocate the situation or something. You be throwing that shit out there playing devil's advocate and people taking you seriously. And you don't realize you getting judged on that shit. You not realizing that. That's the funny thing with me. Yeah, I'm gonna shake shit up. Let me throw this bullshit out here to shake it up. This shit making too much sense. That sound like, you know what that sound like? That sound like women. I'm gonna start an argument because there's too much peace in here. It's too much peace. So I know I'm about to start some shit for no reason. I'm gonna start some drama. That's exactly what that sounds like. Anyway, anything y'all want to hit me up with before because the paternity fraud, I need to do that better justice. But yeah, if y'all haven't seen BGS's video, check it out. I did end up listening to that dude on TikTok talk about shit. Women march for men for paternity, which I personally think is stupid. But it's like I said, man. These women, yeah, they be lying. They be lying. That's why they getting mad because that shit is getting found out. So they getting scared. It proves our case. I wish David Carroll was here, man. Because David Carroll called it out. And that Cassie shit, now, we're going to make the light-skinned chick a victim. Oh, you need to believe her. They did believe her. Remember, the jury, the white jury, remember that. People forget. It wasn't the courts. It was the white jury that basically said this was some bullshit. People are forgetting that kind of key point. His peers. And yeah, they convict them tricking. We'll see what they do. If they try to override that shit, they try to over sentence him. But even if they do, let's say they do try to hit him with some crazy number. Guess the fuck what? He'll just appeal it. He'll appeal it. He'll appeal it. That's what'll happen. And so eventually he'll be out. And it is what it is. Oh, okay. Well, cool. At least he's standing on it. But you the one. Look, I'm going on what you saying. You the one saying I'm shaking shit up all of a sudden. You saying that. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just repeating what you're saying. Let's see. It's actually been a pretty good day. Decent day for me. So appreciate the $2 from you know who you are. Nigga like Free Diddy. I mean, you kind of can say that now. Motherfuckers are mad. He's a sex trafficker. According to who? See, now, if you call him a sex trafficker, that's defamation. That's defamation now. That's defamation. Just know that. People coming in here, people feelings gonna get them, I ain't talking about Brock, I'm just talking about in general. People feelings gonna get them sued. I don't understand. He's a trafficker. So we just gonna ignore what he did? to kill Porter, allegedly. Now everybody gonna just start bringing everything out. We gonna just ignore what he did. Y'all don't believe women. Why don't we believe women? We gotta believe women. They did. What do you mean? Like, she never, like, Cassie never said she was trafficked. Cassie never said. I mean, these people's stories don't match up and all this other bullshit. Why do y'all hate women? I just want to know. Why do y'all hate women? Just help me understand. Why do you hate women? It went like, at the end of the day, Cassie just wanted her money. That's all that was. So it ain't, whatever. But Cassie took her shot. Look, she got her money. She got her money. So now, Diddy, now, and see what's funny, this is the funny thing. The thing that's funny about it, now she can't do shit. So if she start, helping out, all these, trust me, a lot of people gonna keep fucking. Diddy still got money. Diddy dirty money. They still got money. So now she gonna be mad. Truth be told, black women don't even hate Diddy like that. They see a kindred spirit in Diddy's, like, homosexuality. They see a kindred spirit. Whew. Yeah. She got 38 million, but the reality is, yeah, she got a bag, but I don't think she feels she won because she won't, low key, she won't Diddy. Cause I'm gonna tell you, if she get back with him, if she get caught going back to him, shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Shit. And I could definitely see that happening. And that's gonna make everybody look stupid. And it's gonna make that dude that got with her look stupid. Cassie is damaged goods. Appreciate Heartthrob Forever for the $5 cash app. Much appreciated. Alright, y'all, I gotta go. But be looking out some uploads soon. That being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.